So here in New York, yesterday was quite an interesting day. We obliterated the historical record for warmest temperature this time of year. So it was January 12th, and the previous record, now I've seen two sites said two different things. I don't know which one is true, but the record previously was either 61 degrees or 63 degrees, which is, for mid-January, anybody who knows New York, that's insane. That's insane, because the average is 33 degrees for January 12th. Well, it hit, in some places in New York, 69 degrees yesterday. It almost hit 70 degrees in the middle of January. Those are like late spring, early summer numbers there. So it was out of this world warm. Now, cue the normal commentary here where I have to remind you guys every single time we talk about this. You can't say any one weather event is due to climate change, because you have to always look at the trends, the patterns. Now, the patterns, you of course can, talk about climate change in the context of the patterns. You can't do it for any one individual weather event. Now, it wasn't just yesterday, though, because the day before yesterday, we broke a record as well. The day before yesterday, I believe the number was 63 degrees that we hit, and that shattered the January, it didn't shatter, but it broke the January 11th record for New York. Now, today's 45 degrees where I am in New York, which is still, again, unseasonably warm, but it's not, obliterating records like yesterday did. But, man, that's something else, isn't it? Now, there were other parts in the country, the Midwest, I think, is getting hammered by some snow. I know Corin was telling me that by him, there was quite a bit of snow. So the main reason for me talking about this is actually not to make a broader point about climate change, although, again, you can do that in the context of talking about the weather patterns over an extended period of time. You can't do it while talking about any one individual day or one individual weather event. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because I learned something about myself yesterday. I, without a doubt, have some seasonal depression. No question. And actually, so I was researching it because obviously it piqued my interest. And the technical name, I believe, is seasonal affective disorder. And the acronym is SAD, SAD. And it's SAD in all caps. Which, of course, most of you are going to think of Trump when you hear that. SAD. So I never realized this about myself before. I mean, I just kind of thought it was normal, natural, that, yeah, of course, when it gets to like fall and winter, you're not as happy. But the thing is, normally there's like a little, like a slow progression into the shittier weather and the darker weather and the sun setting earlier. So, it doesn't hit you all at once. It's a little bit by day, and it's like a gradual slide into you're not as happy, mid-fall, mid-winter as you are mid-spring, mid-summer. But the reason why I'm mentioning this today is when you get a random 68-degree day in the middle of the winter, the contrast is so stark. Because 3 days ago, my happiness level's down here, and then on the day where it's 68 degrees and sunny, I swear to you all that my happiness level tripled and my energy level tripled. And it was a slap in the face because I was like, wow. So this is, because I'm one of those people who thinks, even though I know mind over matter is generally pretty stupid, I think on some level I thought like, well, yeah, if you just will yourself out of it. Just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you'll be fine in the winter like you would be in the summer. No, wrong. Because there's nothing that could have duplicated that difference. There's nothing on the earth that could have naturally tripled the happiness level, tripled the energy level. So, man, what a slap in the face that was. I definitely have, I don't want to say it's seasonal depression because I actually think that's disrespectful to people who have actual depression, because I'm not by any stretch of the imagination suicidal. It's not anything that's, I'm incapable of handling. But that's, why I did the research, and apparently seasonal affective disorder, I think that's like a step below, all-out depression or seasonal depression. It's like a mild version of it. So that was my experience, and I wanted to share that with everybody because again, it was so stark that I was like, this is incredible. I can't believe the difference. One day, beautiful weather, nice temperature, and all of a sudden tripled my happiness level, tripled my energy level, and now I have to brace for the misery that's about to come because for the next 2 or 3 months, it'll still be, terrible here. I doubt we'll get more of that, more of what we saw yesterday. And again, if we get more of what we just saw yesterday, then the planet is dying, which is not good, even though it'll cure my depression. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who felt that either. I saw some things on social media, and a bunch of people were talking about it. And apparently it's like 10 to 20% of the country that has, a mild version or just flat out seasonal affective disorder. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. 1 out of every 10 or 2 out of every 10. That's a decent number of people. So I'm sure many of you had the same, just by the numbers, 10 or 20% of you had the same thing if you're living in the general area that I am, if you're in the Northeast. And what a slap in the face. What a wake-up call that was. So we'll see. Of course, I did some research on, what one can do in this situation without needing a 68-degree sunny day. And there's all types of stuff. You could take vitamin B12. You could take vitamin D. Those are two things that they recommend. Another one is they have apparently this light therapy, which I think the evidence shows it works to some extent, which is like, you get this super bright light that you got to kind of shine on yourself for the first 30 minutes of the day, and that is supposed to have some positive effect. It's supposed to mimic the the sunlight hitting you and give you that boost even when it's cloudy and gross outside and whatever. But yeah, what a slap in the face. What a wake-up call. Seasonal affective disorder is absolutely real, and there's nothing to prove it like a random 68-degree day in the middle of January.